Last time I built a 3D printed engine and pushed it as far as it would go, until it split the piston in half, so I decided to make something even more complicated. If it works, it's gonna be my most complex engine yet. If it doesn't... Hello my friends and welcome to my laboratory. This project, just like any other good project, started here. With nothing but a cube and a vision, it slowly turned into this, a 250cc 2-cylinder flat engine. So let's start with the first step, which is the crankcase. Printed out of PLA Plus with 4 head bolts on each side and the split style just like the real engines have. Now that we have a crankcase, it was time to make the crankshaft. I started by printing the connecting rods out of carbon fiber reinforced nylon, each coming out at around 27 grams. Next up, I grabbed some needle bearings. On the big end of the connecting rod, I'm using an HK1212 and on the small end, an HK1012. I got both of these bearings press fitted inside the connecting rod using an hydraulic press, and after the bearings were installed, we ended up at around 40 grams each. Next step, I've installed them on the crankshaft. This crankshaft was provided to me by PCBWay and it ran in all of the engines I built so far. PCBWay offers a variety of services to bring your engineering project to life. From standard circuit boards to advanced PCB production and assembly, all the way to professional CNC machining, 3D printing and sheet metal fabrication. And the best part, you can get an instant price quote just by drag and dropping your files directly into the browser, selecting the fabrication method, quantity and the material you want your part to be made out of, and just like that you have a price quote and the estimated time of production. So if you wanna check them out, make sure you click the links in the video description. Once again, a big thank you to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. With most of the internals down, it's now time to work on the cylinders. When it comes to the cylinder body, we have a hybrid design. Basically, it is made out of two materials. The top end that comes in direct contact with the hot head is made out of carbon fiber reinforced nylon for a better heat resistance, and the rest of the body is made out of PLA Plus. Inside of this cylinder body, we are gonna have a stainless steel sleeve that I've cut to length, deburr and make sure we have a flat surface on the top, so we don't lose any compression. As you would expect from cutting a pipe with the angle grinder, this thing had a couple of imperfect spots, but after a lot of sanding, I managed to bring it to a usable state. Next, I had to press the sleeve inside the cylinder body using a hydraulic press. And with that, we have our cylinders ready to be installed. Inside these cylinders, I'm gonna run some carbon fiber reinforced nylon pistons. I had to make a bit of a redesign because my previous design failed in the last testing session. We have a beefier skirt, but the contact area between the piston and the cylinder is gonna be about the same, so we are not adding any extra friction. The new pistons weigh around 66 grams each. And to make sure they hold compression properly, I'm using these O-rings as compression rings. I had some attempts to make 3D printed compression rings, but unfortunately they failed, so this is my best bet. With the pistons ready, it's now time to work on the heads. All of my heads are designed around this one screw that we are gonna turn into a 17mm valve. The first problem, the screw has these deep grooves that will not allow it to sit properly in the valve seat. I'm starting by cutting off the threaded part of the screw. Then I grab a piece of sandpaper and start putting holes into it in a predetermined pattern until it looks like Swiss cheese. Next, I put an aluminum support in the vise, get the screw through one of the holes, and I start sanding it. At the end, the sandpaper is gonna look something like this, but the valves will be smooth and able to hold compression. And that's how I make my 17mm valves. For the next component of the head, I'm gonna have to turn this piece of aluminum into this, a piece that's gonna act like a shield, protecting all the 3D printed parts of the head from the extreme heat inside the combustion chamber. And for that I'm gonna use my Carvera Air, which is an absolute unit of a machine. Once again, a big thank you to my Kera for sending me this unit. I started by securing my stock. I also removed the protecting film from it. I installed this single flute bit that came with the machine, and I let the Carvera Air do its job for the next 40 minutes. And after cleaning everything up, this is what I ended up with. Two components that look professionally made and have all the dimensions on spot. After securing the carbon fiber reinforced nylon mid-head to the aluminum plate, I installed the valves with the springs and the tappers. As you can tell, we have a 4-valve design with a central spark plug. After that, I printed all the other components out of PLA+, gathered all the bearings needed. Just as a side note, each head is made out of 35 individual components that have to work in harmony with each other. For the cam bearings, I'm using this RS6000 bearings. On the intake cam towards the HTD5 pulley, I decided to run 2 bearings, so we have less flex in the cam. This is what the valve train looks put together. As you can tell, we have a dual overhead cam system controlled by one pulley and a couple of gears that transfer the force from the intake cam to the exhaust cam. And this is what the head looks like all put together. Now that we have our heads installed, it's time to start working on the intake. And for that I designed and printed this plenum with a 260cc volume, a throttle flap and an injector port. The body is made out of 3 parts, and each intake runner is gonna have a velocity stack to help a bit with the performance. After installing the intake, this is what we ended up with. Next up, let me show you all the electronics I'm using on this engine. For the ignition, I'm running a simple distributor with a knob on one of the camshafts that's gonna time the exact moment the spark is gonna occur. For the coil pack, I'm running a Dacia 1310 coil pack. For the fueling system, I'm using an Arduino Nano as an ECU, paired with a cam position sensor and an Aprilia injector, paired with a fuel pump and a fuel pressure regulator, so we have peak fuel delivery at all times. So now that we have the engine completely put together, it's time to start testing. On the timing side of the engine, I'm running 2 HTD5 belts and these new belt tensioners. The engine definitely wants to go, but I think we are limited by the single injector, and the engine has so much compression that my corded drill really struggles turning it through the compression stage. And also one of the capacitors on the left distributor just split in half for some reason. So I replaced that and we are ready for another session of testing. Well, I'm gonna have to end this episode here, mainly because my drill is almost dead. This engine has so much compression that my 500 watts drill is barely moving it. There was a lot of this going on. I think I'm gonna have to design some sort of a reduction on the flywheel for the drill to have a easier time. Once again, a big thank you to PCBWay for sponsoring this video. Thank you for watching guys and see you in the next one.